Every newspaper in the north of England has a journalist who knows how to get to this place, the most notorious cave in England.
This is Dow Cave, which is about a mile up the dale outside Kettlewell, and it's thought that this was the entrance where the 3 potholers went down, probably about 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon, which means that just coming up to midday today, they've now been down for 22 hours.
7 to 2.
The 3 members of our team have just arrived here with the 3 missing people who were found quite close to the entrance to Providence Pot. They seem to have run out of light as far as I can ascertain at this moment, over.
2 to 7, message received and understood. I'll pass that on underground.
What went wrong?
Just the lights, really. You know, there was a bit, we dropped them.
So you just stayed put until the rescue teams came in?
Yeah. Oh yeah, sure. Well, this is the thing to do, isn't it? You can't go rummage around in the dark if there's fairly large drops in that particular pot.
You just
stay put, and that's it. Nobody wants to die.
The underground leader of the cave rescue team, then and now, is Harry Long.
The Upper Wharfedale Fell Rescue Association have been called out more times to the Dow Providence system than to any other cave in its patch. In fact, it most likely has the worst cave rescue record for anywhere in the country. To give you some idea, over the past 5 years, 37 people have been rescued from this cave in 17 separate incidents. And that really is the scale of the problem.
A successful journey through Dow Providence takes no more than 5 hours. Any longer, and a rescue, like this exercise, becomes a likelihood. Not every rescue Harry Long's team conducts calls for stretchers, but the organisation to help cavers in trouble is a very sophisticated team effort. Long himself has 20 years of caving to call on, and the team includes a doctor and every kind of specialist caving skill. What the public sees of a rescue is what you have just seen. But what lies within the Dow Providence cave system that sends people down? These forms, which have existed undisturbed throughout the whole of Britain's above-ground history, lie only half a mile from a main road and draw cavers of all levels of experience like a magnet. But the Dow Providence caves are also what cavers call an active system, formed by and still being changed by water. A flood here could prove fatal. The water in the system today is considered only moderate. But the water's job is to erode the rock, bring down loose rocks, find the least point of resistance. We're not talking about pebbles either.
This is the bottom of Hobson's choice, a damn great heap of boulders. In wet weather like this, it can become completely impassable. In fact, if anyone was on the other side, they'd be completely cut off. We'd have to sit there and wait for the water to drop off. In fact, that isn't the only problem. Over the years, the action of the water flowing through and round and under the boulders is keeping them in a constant state of movement. And some of these blocks are as big as the size of a house. Luckily, no one to date has been trapped on the wrong side of them when there's been any large-scale movement, but it may happen.
Since this film was taken, the boulders in Hobson's Choice have completely collapsed. The route forward is blocked, possibly for years, possibly forever.
Well, believe it or not, this rather insignificant opening here is the start of the Dow Cave passage, It leads through something like a mile of cave to Providence Pot, an alternative entrance, way up on the hillside above. And it's this through trip here, which is very, very popular with cavers. It's extremely arduous, which is also extremely underestimated, leads to all the real problems in this cave system.
The plan view of Dow Providence can look deceptively like a straight road ahead to an inexperienced caver who has never tried the route. That is the trip we are going to make now. All the film in this series has been shot with the cooperation of rescue teams, organised clubs, cave scientists and individual cavers who run the sport and control its development. Caving is almost entirely self-financed, including the equipment and training of the all-important rescue teams. The Upper Wharfedale Cave Rescue Team take the job of supporting our cameraman, Sid Peru, and his sound recordist, Lindsay Dodd, as an opportunity for a full practice of the skills they must keep sharp if they're to save life. Peru himself, in the yellow overalls, is, as it happens, a full member of the rescue team. His recordist, Lindsay, is in red.
Tell Greg to go further up the hill. Over.
Greg, I can't raise Fell 7 at the moment, but we'll keep trying. Over.
Right, Fell 7, Fell 9.
The Providence entrance has been artificially constructed after pioneer digging in the stream bed in 1953.
You realise you might not be coming back out soon.
There we are. It's the camera, so take care. Got it?
Sid Peru and Lindsay Dodd are now at the beginning of a sortie that will take them 16 hours because of filming. They will cover it in real time as it happened. It's 6 p.m. on a Saturday evening in July. Evening cricket is about to start in villages from here all the way to the coast. Up on the moors, it will not get truly dark until midnight. Like some of the more severe systems, Providence has, as it were, a lock on its door. Should it rain, and the stream immediately above their heads now flood, the way back up these early sections will without doubt be cut off. Hence the need for field telephones on this exercise, which the party can tap into anywhere along the way.
I'll try and put them down to the bottom for you. Yeah, okay. I'll just go a bit farther, just lean down the neck. Okay, they're going to pass the box down now. Come out of the water, rest and rest. Yeah. You said what you got me to go off, eh? Are you last bit? No, is that it behind you? Then you've not got maybe down in. No. Got all the gear down there, Ken? Yeah, we're right off, do you know what to carry then? Oh, that's very kind. So we're thinking about it.
You think that was muddy, Peter? Let me see this.
Oh. That does it?
Yeah, I'm in it now.
All right. I'm in.
All right, Pete.
This mud's cold, isn't it? On the bottom.
Liken to liquid manure.
Tell you what, Ken.
What?
see cleaner toilets in this.
How are the police doing now?
Yeah. Oh, this has been opened out as well since.
Yeah. Right, we're out. It's the policeman. Oh,
This is a time to crawl to you.
yeah, when it was dry, it used to be a slope to get up, didn't it? When
Are you okay? Give me a shout, will you?
Don't get that box, Harry.
No, bring it now.
Right, mate.
Right, slipping a bit. Right, come on, Trev.
That's your box up here.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Just go.
The palace!
Passes at last, the palace. Oops, hold down there.
Quick way into the dungeon.
Right. Pass it across, Trev.
Right, Pete.
Whoa, hey, I went down there as well.
Big roll, isn't it?
Yeah, it's slippery too. Watch it, mate. It's really, really slippery.
Right, Pete. Yeah. Passes that box down there.
The first 100 feet of vertical fall in Providence can be achieved by inexperienced cavers without a rope. It is this deceptive easiness that can trap the unwary and the beginner. It all looks straightforward. There needs no tackle, no club backup, nothing but nerve.
Hello, surface here.
Underground to surface. Kate. We are now at the end of the blaster crawl and just inside the dungeon. We're now going to proceed onto Stalagmite Corner.
What, are you going up or down? Down. Oh.
Well, this is Stalagmite Corner, and we've now reached the active streamway, the first part coming down from Providence Pot entrance. We've dropped about 100 feet down this part, and we're now in the active stream on its way through the Dow passage to Dow Cave. And the next 4,500 feet of passage through here are virtually dead straight the whole way, one big rift all the way. The name's self-evident here with these big masses of stowel running down the walls, and just a bit further on there are a lot of straw stalactites. And really, this is the only part of the whole of the Dow passage that has many formations. They're very few and far between from here on until you get out into Dow Cave proper.
"9 o'clock. Stumps drawn on the village green. In the King's Head, Kettlewell, the second support party jug up before bringing down food and batteries, film stock and tape to the party underground.
Imagine what Sid's going through at this very moment.
Hello, Kate. We're just short of Bridge Cavern. Could you tell what time it is, please? 11:37. Quite a bit behind schedule. We'll give you a call just after Bridge Cavern. We'll connect into the wire there and report on our progress then. Okay? You go to the top, Ned? Yeah, I'll go around this way.
The thing about caving, like mountaineering, is that a fall from a couple of feet can be as dangerous as falling through space. What's the man at the rear of this shot, Pete Huff?
Oh, you're right, Pete. Yeah.
You're right.
A twisted ankle underground can be just as severe as a broken leg elsewhere, and could call out as many as 20 cave rescuers from their beds. The unbroken length of D'Aubergill's 4,500 feet is caused by a natural fault in the rock and contains areas of quite severe instability. Harry Long makes the point at a place called Bridge Cavern.
Well, that's quite a graphic illustration of some of the loose boulders in this place. A lot of people who go through here just don't realise just how loose some of them are. In fact, we're standing somewhere quite close to the spot where we had one of our worst rescues in here several years back, when a chap was actually flattened underneath several large boulders. You can see just how loose these are. Some of the boulders we're going over and on down and through are all as bad as this, although they don't appear perhaps quite so bad as you can see them here. It's certainly quite a problem in a place like this.
Do you think we should send them someone down? Just try and bring books? Yes.
Above ground, the cave rescue exercise draws in the womenfolk who turn up like this in every actual rescue to run the base camp, which is on the Kettlewell-Wensleydale Road near Dow at the bottom of the fell.
We've still got production light, haven't we?
1:30. The second support team drives to the top with the batteries and the film stock.
Well, now we're in the middle part of the D'Aubergill Passage. We've left behind all the collapse area where all the big blocks have fallen out of the roof and off the walls. For the time being, anyhow, we're in a very nice solid wall passage which shows the action of the water very well on the walls. Just a bit uncomfortable in places because it's quite sharp, but it's certainly a lot more preferable to the bouldery parts further back up the cave.
Well, there's a struggle for it, blind. Yes, if you are. I hope that's the best lesson.
The climbing that comes just before the halfway stage is a foretaste of the last 8 hours of the trip, and shows the energy that can be drained from an ill-prepared party. Harry Long's team and Sid Peru have made up lost time and reached the pre-arranged rendezvous point. The second support meets up at the place called the 800 Yards Chamber to put some film in the camera and sausage and beans into the tea.
It's great, isn't it? Look at the colour of that, mate. I think I'll just have to take all the... You can lick that out if you like.
Keep your finger in there, lad.
Fucking spoon.
Everyone in the surface team comes to terms with the long wait they know they must endure whenever they're called out. 3:10 and no rain. That's good news. The second part of D'Aubergill Passage is as much as 100 feet high in places. The best route, the most economical one, is not always the most obvious one.
Hey, it's much easier up here, Harry.
Are you sure?
Too true.
It's not too bad where I am now. There's a couple of small ledges right along the wall you can tow in.
I ain't getting more feet up here.
Now, hang on, it's ended here.
Oh.
Well, one of the main problems for anyone doing the through trip from Providence Pot to Dow Cave or in reverse is route finding the right level. You can't follow the stream all the way through at one level because every so often it's blocked by piles of boulders that you can't pass. And then you've got to backtrack and climb up into the passage and go across the top of the boulders and perhaps drop down to the stream again or even climb further up into the roof still. This level we're on here now is one of the intermediate levels. It's about halfway between the stream level where the others are down at the bottom there and the high level route which goes right across the top of this part of the cave, something like 60 feet off the floor.
Go on, get down there. Yeah, I'll get down all right. You should stop in at the bottom of the thing.
Oh, just pick your knees, you'll be all right.
You make a big splash when you got there.
How you doing, Dad?
Oh, it's good actually. Quite rough with the wall, you get some good.
Keep going, mate, I'm catching you up. There you go. Yeah. Ooh, right. Make a big splash.
Yeah. It's a nice slimy bit of rubber. Oh.
This is wide.
Yes. I agree.
We'll go so far in front. Mind your eyes.
Yeah.
Right. Well, we're something like 45 or 50 feet above the stream here. In fact, it's so far up that you can't even hear the water flowing. And this is the sort of place that we quite often find parties have climbed to, and they just give up the ghost. They can't be bothered to go back and try a different route. They just plonk themselves down where they've got to, and they sit there till we find them, perhaps 15, perhaps 20 hours after they've actually stopped. And they could be anywhere through the length of the cave, especially this middle section where you can either go right at floor level or right up the top in the roof level. And this is a typical sort of place where we could find them, sitting here, and we might even pass underneath them, and then they'll realise, or we'll realise, and they'll shout to us, and we'll climb up, and then we've got to try and find the best route to get them down and out of either end of the cave, depending just where they are in the system.
Base to Dow, do you read me? Over.
Down to base, read you 5 and 9, pass your message, over.
Base to Dow. Has the support team made contact yet? Over.
A radio link between base and the Dow Cave entrance, where a surface team member waits for second support team to emerge.
Base to Dow, it's approximately 4 a.m. They must have got stuck en route somewhere. Over.
Okay, over.
Well, I'm going to drop down this next level, so if I can get through here. Oh. No. No, I'll come back up again.
By the time they reach this point, the continual changing of levels has tired even the rescue team. They're progressing through a vertical maze, rather like a child's puzzle stood on its side.
Up, you up?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, box.
All right. There you go, then. Get out. No, yeah. Right. Oh, got it. Anyway. Good. Yeah. Well,
6 a.m. in Kettlewell, the Sunday papers are arriving on the newsagent's step.
Watch out, there's a bit of cable on the floor there, I think, Trev. Must be getting fairly close to climb up to all that gypsum now.
Yeah. Oh, is that wiring?
No, it's somewhere underneath me.
Bloody hell, there's it's a long way down.
Yeah, that's a little bit down there.
It's much easier down here.
Yeah, I bet it bloody is, right. You don't want to be standing down there, I'll tell you.
No, I'm on a minute. Let's get out of the way.
You just kicked out the roof down on us.
Right, watch what we're doing, and we're joining you.
Right. Keep moving along then, Ken. Now, this is one of the problems about this part of the cave. You get this cold, ponded water like this, and it's very, very cold. And if you spend too long in this part and lose the way at all, This is where you like to start going down with exposure. And this has happened on quite a lot of cases with various parties in this part. For long enough, people used to go over the top, but it's a lot easier down here if you know which way to go. Yeah, okay up front, Fred. Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's not too bad. Yeah, are you okay back up there, Pete? Right.
I'll get this side, give him a fork. Okay, Pete. Right. Let's go. Let's go. Well, that lot come from? It must sun down below. You can hear it banging, can't you? Hardy's? Yeah.
How'd you got me your gut, Harry?
All right, mate.
Eh? I'm coming. Just in that tight before I got my belt stuck.
The last real obstacle is called Hardy's Horror, and then the way will simplify to the stream bed again, with lots of headroom and a sense of freedom. Except that, of course, if it's rained while you were down, you might have come all this way only to have a flood slam the door in your face. Tonight, they've been lucky.
It's the sport, and inevitably there are going to be risks taken, and people are going to come unstuck, and someone has to go and help them. Many hundreds of people have had a tremendous amount of enjoyment and sport doing this through trip, and I'd like to see it remain that way. All I would hope is that people get better educated into the problems of this particular place, and thus reduce the number of times we're called out every year.
"10 o'clock on Sunday, with full sunshine and marvellous lungfuls of air to be dragged down. For Harry Long and his team, who've seen filmmaker Sid Peru safely through, a worthwhile and flawless exercise. Next time they go down, it could be with someone's life at stake. The Upper Wharfedale Cave and Fell Rescue team will mobilise upwards of 50 men and women 365 days of the year for anyone in trouble on or beneath the Pennines. They very much hope that for 365 days of the year, they won't be called on.
Disgust to the equipment.
You don't look surprisingly clean anyway.
I felt surprised because when I found the water.
Eyepiece, you haven't lost that yet.
Eyepiece, rubber eyepiece, yeah.
Yeah, he did. You lost it. Come on, wait till then. He's lost his rubber eyepiece. Oh, it's all right. You can go back at that.
Understood. How many breakfasts do you require? Over.
One to base, 10 breakfast please, and plenty of tea. Over.
Understood. Standing by.
One to base, do you read? Over.
Base to one. Pass your message. Over.
One to base. Everybody